Now on 8 News Now Weekend Edition, the Nevada State Assembly passes a bill holding police officers more accountable. What changes are included? Plus, a group of parents want schools to reopen for in-person instruction with proper safety guidelines. Their concerns about online education. And a drop in temperatures going into your work week. 8 News Now Weekend Edition starts right now.
Now, live. This is 8 News Now, Weekend Edition.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Kristen Drummond. The triple-digit temperatures recently can be unbearable. Sally Jaramillo tells us when those temperatures will start to go down in your most accurate Weather Now forecast. Sally?
Good morning. Another hot day across the region. As we compare yesterday's temperatures to today, you're going to notice that we're going to be slightly cooler for today. Yesterday, we reached a high of 112 for today. 110 is what it's expected to be our high. That UV index does remain very high, especially around that 1 o'clock hour. The count 10.5. It's important that you protect yourself. Wear that sunscreen. Wear those sunglasses. Please be safe out there. Temperature-wise, we're going to be warm once again. We're going to show you those temperatures increasing to the triple-digit mark around that 10 a.m. start. By noon, a high of 105, and around that 3 o'clock hour, we expect some south winds staying 11 miles per hour with a few gusts up to 18 miles per hour. Coming up in my full forecast, we're going to be talking more about these dry conditions, the slight relief you can see, and where the monsoon of moisture is. Back to you.
All right, definitely need to keep that sunscreen handy. The Nevada Assembly passes a bill seeking to hold police officers more accountable. It includes several changes, including limiting the use of chokeholds. Orko Manna has the details.
In a bipartisan vote Saturday night, the Nevada Assembly passed AB 3, the police reform bill. It limits the use of chokeholds and requires more intervention and reporting when it comes to use of force incidents. While some believe it's a good step in the right direction, others say it's either too restrictive or it's not good enough.
There are 38 ayes, 4 nays.
Nevada legislators prioritizing police reform. AB 3 effectively bans officers from using chokeholds, although lawmakers clarified there are exceptions for self-defense.
I don't want to give the impression that a chokehold could never be used.
Other key parts of the bill include requiring an officer to intervene if another officer uses unjustified physical force and requiring that action to be reported, mandating drug and alcohol testing on officers who are involved in shootings, and allowing the public to record law enforcement activity.
Assembly Bill 3 in front of you is the embodiment of what we can do better in the state of Nevada, because if we aren't moving forward, we're standing still, which means we are falling behind.
Metro Police in support of the bill.
As an agency, we're always looking to improve our policy and do what's best practices across the country.
Others in law enforcement in opposition.
Why is it that suspects that die in police custody always end up on the ground prior to their death? The answer is simple. They resisted arrest.
Some criminal justice advocates saying the bill only covers the bare minimum.
I could be for this bill, but unfortunately it is not strong enough.
AB 3 was discussed in the Senate as well, but some had problems with the process.
It takes a long time to really get a good bill worked out. This is being rushed.
The bill passed through the Senate Committee of the Whole and will now go to the full Senate for a vote. Reporting in the newsroom, Orko Manna, 8 News Now.
One person is dead and another is recovering after a shooting. It happened around 3 yesterday morning near East Sahara and Sloan. Metro found a man inside a home that was, he was shot, and that home was being rented out for a party. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Detectives say another man who was hurt took himself to the hospital. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers, where you can remain anonymous. We turn now to the latest on coronavirus cases since the pandemic started. There are nearly 1,000 new cases from Friday, bringing total cases to 49,000 in Nevada. 2 people passed away, bringing the total deaths to 832. Most of the reported new cases are from here in Clark County. 80% of those who've caught the virus here locally have recovered. UNLV's COVID-19 testing site is moving. It will now be at the Thomas and Mack Center. It will open next week, and testing will be every Tuesday through Saturday from 8 to 4. A group of parents are advocating for students to go back to the classroom with strict safety guidelines this month. Parents rallied outside the Somerset Academy Sky Point campus yesterday to share their message. The Clark County School District plans for all students to start the school year with only distance education. Rally organizers say they're worried children won't get a good enough education or learn social as well as emotional skills.
CDC and the American Pediatric Association, they have put out lists of reasons why it is so beneficial for our kids to be in school, and I think that we should listen to them.
Parents and teachers at the rally say with proper health and safety guidelines, they believe schools should open back up. School officials say their reopening plan decisions are all about protecting students. UNLV adding a temporary per credit surcharge on student accounts that will be in effect for the next school year. The charge is $6 per credit hour for undergraduate courses and $8 per credit hour for graduate courses. The charge is because of the economic impact of COVID-19 on the Nevada system of higher education. Governor Steve Sisolak signed an emergency declaration extending previously issued directives that were set to expire Friday. So that means businesses must run at 50% occupancy. No more than 50 people can attend a gathering. Bars, pubs, and taverns in certain counties, including Clark, must remain closed. Alternative ways to hold public meetings must also be in place. Nevada moves away from phases and now implements a long-term mitigation strategy tomorrow. Up next, a bill that could help landlords and tenants resolve disputes without getting the courts involved. Plus, nonprofits helping homeowners with eviction concerns. What help they're offering.
From El Pollo Loco.
You're watching the Valley's news leader with Bianca Holman, Sally Jaramillo, and John Treach. This is 8 News Now, Weekend Edition.
Nevada lawmakers are discussing a bill related to the eviction moratorium that may help landlords and tenants resolve disputes. The Alternative Dispute Resolution Program would allow both parties resolve problems on their own without direct involvement from the courts. The eviction moratorium will be lifted next month, and Nevada Supreme Court Justice James Hardesty, who presented the bill, says courts will be unable to deal with the high number of eviction cases.
The eviction problem facing this state presents enormous hardships for landlords as well as their tenants. And this is a step that we hope the court system can initiate to try to mitigate those hardships.
Legal Aid of Southern Nevada says they've been getting hundreds of calls from people worried about getting evicted. Courts will have 30 days to put the alternative dispute resolution program in place if the bill passes. There would be a stay on eviction proceedings during that time. The eviction moratorium being lifted could cause a lot of problems for many people. Kate Houston tells us about a local nonprofit offering homeowners help during this time.
Nevada Help Group is offering homeowners some assistance as they navigate the foreclosure process. The nonprofit tells me the number of foreclosures statewide could double, if not triple, once the moratorium is lifted.
The folks that misunderstood what it meant to take a forbearance on their payments and then all of a sudden they get several payments accelerated. If they couldn't make 1 month, what does it look like to make several?
Nevada Help Group is preparing for the buildup of potential foreclosures due to the economic fallout from COVID-19.
It's going to fall on the little guy, the middle class hard worker that's trying to, pay for their home.
They want homeowners to know what options are available, no matter the situation.
Even if they happen to be upside down on their property, we've gotten really good at doing short sales. Maybe they have a death in the family.
The team will start by reviewing the homeowner situation. The client can get help filling out paperwork, receive advice from real estate attorneys, and get resources on how to buy more time. The team tries to exhaust every retention option to help the individual keep their home.
If it becomes that it's not a possibility, we want to make sure that we can match them up with potential buyers to get the most out of their property.
Nevada Help Group wants to give families more authority, saying banks will not look out for their best interest.
We believe that the lenders have professionals on their side. It's only fair that families have professionals on theirs.
Kate Houston, 8 News Now.
Nevada Help Group offers these services in English as well as Spanish. You can find more information on the nonprofit on 8newsnow.com. Well, coming up in sports, the Las Vegas Lights play their home opener without fans. We'll have highlights and hear from the players about the new normal. Plus,
very hot and dry conditions dominated the month of July in Vegas, resulting in the 7th warmest July on record. Plus, how the rest of the week is shaping up in your most accurate forecast. Stay with us.
And we'll see you all again next week.
Now, live, this is 8 News Now, Weekend Edition.
And as the heat continues for today, we do want to give you some tips to beat the heat. Want to remind you that if you're suffering from air conditioning problems, want to close those blinds, close those computer laptops. That will keep your house cool. Also want to remind you to think of your pets. Please think of your children as well and everybody you love. When the temperature is 106, that sidewalk feels like it's 155 degrees for your furry friends. Today's highs will show you 110 is what we can expect. Normal conditions of 104. The good news is although we are staying above normal, 6 degrees there, there is no record number like 115 back in 1979. Those lows will be of 86 degrees for today, so you could see a little bit cooler than what we had yesterday. Satellite radar, we're still tracking that hot heat pushing through because of that ridge of high pressure over the southwest states. That will keep us extremely dry the next couple of days. And if you're asking, where is the monsoonal moisture? Well, that's all going to be staying towards the east of us. Mojave County does have another chance to see some thunderstorm activity on Wednesday. Nothing for the Las Vegas Valley, unfortunately. Your wind speeds, we do have a few breezes for today, similar to what we had yesterday, We have a few gusts up to 18 miles per hour, nothing criteria level. And we're also tracking a trough that's going to be pushing towards the western states, and that will give us the ability to get some slight relief. So for today around 10 a.m., triple digits, around 2 o'clock, 108, and then 6 o'clock, that high of 109. But the next few days, we can see those temperatures decreasing. You could see 109 on Monday, 108 on Tuesday before we get back to our normal conditions of 103 and 104 to end the week. For the mountains, for today, those highs will be of 85 degrees, south wind staying 5 to 15 miles per hour. Red Rock, please take plenty of water. That high will be of 102. Lake Mead showing you those highs of 107, sunshine and heat for today. South wind staying 5 to 15 miles per hour. And those lows for tonight will be of 84 degrees, a clear night with very calm winds. Here is your Sally J's 7-day forecast where we do show you lots of sunshine, hot temperatures pushing through until midweek. And then after, we do have some slight relief with a high of 103, those lows in the mid-70s. Back to you.
Well, with a high of 111 degrees, day shelters are open to help the valley's most vulnerable. The Salvation Army on Owens near Stalker Street and the Shade Tree near Owens in Maine will stay open through August and September. Health safety protocols as well as guidelines will be in place. Just ahead in sports, the Golden Knights are preparing to compete for the Stanley Cup. How they're preparing, plus what the players have to say when we come back.